I've got 8 lenses in my bag, but I can only take 3 to my next wedding. Stick with us in this episode of Photography 180, and I'll let you know which 3 I'm taking and why. So I know you're only seeing 7 here on the table. Obviously, I'm filming with one. I'm filming with the 35 1.4 Art from Sigma. On the left here, I also have the Sigma 14 to 24. For my super wide shots, I've got the Sigma 105 2.8 as my macro lens. Then I have the Sony 85 1.8, 55 1.8 from Sony, the Sigma 24 to 70 2.8, and the Sigma 135 1.8. And finally, here is my Sony 28mm f2. So those are the lenses I do have in my kit, but for my next wedding, I can only take 3, hypothetically. Which 3 am I going to take? So for me, number one, first and foremost, the 24 to 70, whether it's from Sigma, Sony, whatever brand you're shooting, that 24 to 70 2.8 is a must-have lens, in my opinion, for something like a wedding day. It just gives you the most versatility. It's a fast lens all the way throughout, from 24 all the way through to 70. And it just allows you to obviously react very quickly to things happening both close and far away. Anytime I'm shooting a reception or a ceremony, the 24 to 70 is usually one of the lenses on one of my cameras. In addition to that, there are moments where I want to be a little bit more candid with my shooting. So I'll go with something on the longer end, and the longest lens I have is the Sigma 135. And this is going to allow me to photograph moments that are happening without being intrusive. So think about at either a ceremony where there's some emotions happening, or during reception, during speeches, that sort of thing. That 135 allows me to keep my distance and let things happen naturally while I'm able to take long range shots. And what I can do there is, if I need a little extra reach, I'll punch in the crop factor to get me just a little bit longer. Obviously, it will lower your file sizes just a little bit, but it's great for those moments where you just need that little bit of extra reach, and it will turn this closer towards that 200mm range. And obviously during portraits as well, having a 135, 1.8, if you love to shoot wide open, really create some amazing separation, creamy backgrounds, just a really, really great lens. I think, you know, to complement that 24 to 70, you really need something a little bit on the longer side. And then my third lens, I would choose the Sony, in my case, the Sony 55. I think if you own a 50, that would be probably your best choice as well. It's just, you know, it's the most kind of natural perspective, I think, when you're getting close to that 50 or 55mm focal length. It's kind of like that, you know, medium. I can, again, punch in the crop factor and get a little bit more range out of here if I need it. And I think it's just a very versatile, very fast lens at 1.8. I love using this at the bride's house when they're getting ready, detail shots, makeup shots, any of those things. It's a great lens to have. It does force you to move your feet a little bit more, which is not a bad thing. So to complement either always having a 24 to 70, something to cover a nice sort of wide to medium telephoto range, when then complementing it with either something like a 55 prime or a 135. I think that's a great combo to have on either side of you to capture pretty much everything that a wedding could probably throw at you. So that's my recommendations: 24 to 70, 55 or 50, and a 135 or something slightly longer. Those will easily get you through an entire wedding day, and you will not have any situations, or you shouldn't have any situations, where you feel like you were missing out by not having one of your other pieces of glass. But again, everyone's different, everyone's style is different. For me, those 3 would work hands down. Obviously, I love gear, I love having extra options in the bag, but I've definitely come to learn over time to simplify just a little bit more. Think less about the glass, think more about the moments and your artistic vision, and I think you can't go wrong with those 3 lenses. So I hope that's been helpful. Feel free to ask me any questions about any of the other lenses I mentioned, and I'd be happy to answer those questions for you. I appreciate you checking out this episode of Photography 180, and I'll see you guys on the next one.